mission, what are you doing? And she pointed the finger at the people. Because we have supporters. They understand, they read that stuff, they understand. And that's what wakes people up. And it's like this, I put it like this. They've been boiling the pot with the frog in it thousands of years, slowly, bit by bit by bit by bit. We need to reverse that. How do we do it? Every person who wakes up wants an ice cube dropping into that water, bringing it down 1 degree, half a degree, 1 degree. It's going to take time. They've had thousands of years. Look at the change we've made in such a short time. It's not massive change. It's not change that is going to change things overnight, but it has made change. They made laws here to stop us. They made laws all over this country to stop people. And they keep piling these laws on. These laws are working against them because we're smart. We hold them accountable. And we've got to continue holding them accountable and wake that person up, one person at a time. You know, it's so many people now have come forward who were totally against this style of thing and what we were saying, and now going, wow. I had a guy make a statement to me the other day. I've never felt the same since that day that I had the forced medical procedure. And he regrets it, but he was actually an advocate for it. And now he's not an advocate against it so much, but he realises that it was a mistake. There was people with religions who don't believe in medical science who did it against their religion, and they're like, whoa, you know? Big wake up. But everyone here in the grapevine, this was not really official, and yet look at all the people that you see that are here that have just filled it in. It's just the family, the family. This is the family. Well, that gave me goosebumps.
We are family.
We are family. And we're all here for each other, and we know that at any stage, if we needed help, we could just put the call out, and it wouldn't matter where or when, someone would come to the door to help you out. Someone, because family does that for family. And this is real family. I mean, a lot of us probably have family that extradited us for our own opinions. We went through what is probably the toughest psychological attack on the human race for a long time, probably forever. And we went through it and we survived because we stood behind our moral standards and opinions with our hand on our chest, our country at mind. And we survived it. You know, we were extradited, we were, told we couldn't do this, couldn't do that. You know what? Most of us went, we don't need that shit. In fact, we don't use those places anyway, most of us. We don't need to go there. So many people told me, I've lost everything and I've never felt more alive. I've lost my house. I've lost my job. I've lost most of my possessions and I've never felt better. Because it brought us back to our true roots of what we are. We don't need that stuff. That's them creating the monster that they can control. A guy called me up the other day, he's having some legal issues with some things. First thing I asked him, do you have dependents? Do you have a wife? Do you have children? He said, I've got a 6-year-old daughter. I said, they've got you. They've got you because you have dependents. You can't stand completely on your own. I said, your responsibility is your daughter. You might have to cop a few so that you can raise your daughter. If you can raise your daughter morals and standards, I said, if they take her off you, they've won because they will indoctrinate her and she will become the person you don't want her to be. But be the man, take the hit and bring your daughter up the right way. That's how you do it. We don't all have to stand in the limelight fighting against the front line. We can bring up the next generation that fights them. My theory on world wars was that they were trying to eliminate morals and standards. They took all the young viral men who had massive morals and standards, some of them 14-year-old lying about their age just to stand for what they thought was the truth, which we now know was a lie. And that was them eliminating all those morals and standards. All these single mums that were created from those wars, that was their ability to, those mums had to work to survive, so then they had control of those kids and they could indoctrinate them. That's what the World War was about, I believe.
Shame.
Shame.
Shame on them.
You know, so if you have a dependent, spend your life with the responsibility of your dependent. If you put your hand up for dependents, you put your hand up for a lifetime and train them and teach them and show them. I was unsure how my son would react to it, and I never mentioned anything. And then one day I said to him, what do you think about this forced medical procedure? And he said, Dad, if they have to give away $1 million to talk you into it, competition, there's something wrong. And I said, good boy, good boy. And wooden fastener is the sharpest tool in the shed sometimes. Other times he's amazing. But that was one of the examples. Just morals and standards. He knew that if they were giving away competition money, there was a problem there, because that wasn't a moral thing to do or the right thing to do. So if they have to convince people with $1 million, there's something definitely wrong. But it's amazing to see all you guys. 3 years. Who would have thought 3 years? Came down here on a whim, most of us. Struggled to get here, you know. As soon as the convoy started, what did they do? Jack the price of fuel up. These are people that had nothing. They'd sacrificed everything. You know, there's people standing in this crowd who literally, their life is completely different to what it used to be. Well, it would be anyway, but I mean, you know what I mean. They've lost everything, but gained everything. And it's amazing that the walks of life we all come from, it didn't matter. It was the way we thought, and it was the way our heart thought. So thank you all for being here on 3 years. I mean, 1,000 Day was cool the other day, but that was 1,000 days. This is 3 years. This is an anniversary. Just remember, the fight's not here. The front line is here, but the fight's not here. The fight is in here and in here. And we need to bring up the next generation. We need to wake up the generation that's there now. We need to wake every single person up one at a time. And they might not completely flip over and realise that the whole system is out there to get them or to cause problems or control them. That's not what you need to do. You just need to plant the seed that something's not right. These guys are doing the wrong thing in all different places, pretty much everywhere. And it'll grow. It'll grow. Like, there's a YouTube channel called Punter's Politics, man. He's great. He doesn't put any flip or spin on the story, but he just shows people what's not right. What they're doing that's not right in the politics. And that will filter down to other things. They go, well, if they're not doing things right there, what are they doing at the local level? Then they look at the local level and go, well, if they're not doing that right, what else is happening? And the next thing you know, they're neck deep in the rabbit hole trying to get out. Once they're in, they're not out. There's no out of the rabbit hole. There's people who choose to ignore the rabbit hole after they've been down it, but it just eats away at their mind the whole time. They don't get away. Right, we're running a bit late, so well, time's a construct for them. Why do they make the time construct? Because they need to find a way to charge you for the labour you give them for something you can't get back, and that's your time. So debt slavery, they say, oh, you're free now, don't work, better survive, get some of this money and give us half, or more than half. Hey? Yeah, it's about 73% or something like that. It works out in the long run. Yeah, it's not much you get out of it. But most of us people here probably aren't living in that debt slavery. Most of us have found other ways to survive, other ways to live. But then again, you know, like the registration thing, I've been, you know, going down that rabbit hole quite a bit. I've done both unregistered, registered, driving not registered cars, a whole lot. And then a friend of mine's been having some issues with the not registered thing, and he at one stage he was parked up for quite a while his car because he didn't want them to take his car because he lived in it. And then I had the realisation, how free is he? He can't move, he can't do anything. And that was when I realised, I said to him, maybe the bribe of $1,000 a year is better so that we can travel and wake up people than fighting them in court individually. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can guarantee during the Second World War, the French revolutionists, they would have had false papers and all sorts of stuff so they could travel around the country and cause problems. They would have played the game. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to be smart fighters, not just fighters. Smart fighters. We can be in their face. They've got the biggest stick at the moment. So don't fight them stick on stick because they've got a bigger one. Fight them the other way. So sometimes the bribe of leave me alone, police officer bribe of the square thing on the front of your car or back of your car. Right, little Karen that used to be here, she had written next to it, registered under duress with the corporation, right beside the number plate. Perfect. She could travel, wake people up. Anybody seen her Commodore would realise it's got stuff written all over it, big flag on the bonnet, a whole lot. She could travel and wake people up for a small fee. It hurts them more than what that small fee hurts us. Well and truly. Right, let's get into it. Let's start with the ode. Please remove hats if not in uniform. That was close. They went with songs into battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Dragonfly. Bye-bye.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Make Australia great again by making Australians great again. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check.
Thanks, Tim.
Check.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Your Excellency. Good morning, Your Excellency, the Honourable Samantha Moyston, Governor-General of this great country of Australia, pedophile protector. That must be your main job, Samantha. You are doing nothing for the Australian children. They're being raped daily. You are doing nothing for the vulnerable, the people with disabilities who are being abused daily. You are doing nothing for the elderly who have paid all their taxes all their life and there's no care for them. You are in charge, Samantha. When are you going to do your job for the Australian people, the animals, flora, fauna, the whole bloody country? How about you start today? And as the Governor-General of this great country of Australia, this letter is a direct appeal from an ever-growing cohort of Australian people, both here and at home. The people who live in Australia and who support Australia, not the ones that live in Australia and support a country overseas. The real Australians support their own country. We demand the public reveal of the unredacted findings in the police report from the Woodrow Commission, 1995 to 1997. That's how long you've had the information. That's how long since it's been since you traumatised, re-traumatised these people who gave you all the information about these perpetrators. And you have done nothing. The Woodrow Commission was overseen by an alleged pedophile. WTF is going on in this country? As catalogued with the Police Integrity Commission, the Woodrow Commission resulted in a 90-year suppression order, supposedly. And I believe it. I think Mr. Carr just had a meeting with the judge and other cronies, and they decided to file it in their bloody filing cabinet. This list contained 28 names of high-profile alleged pedophiles, something that is not accepted by the Australian community. These 28 names include people from including an ex-Prime Minister. How does that make you feel? Being told what to do by someone who has no moral standards. That's just one of them. Government officials. That's all your public servants, all your coppers. You're all doing the dirty work of these bloody people. If they didn't have anyone to do the dirty work, they'd collapse. But you continue rocking up for your pay packet. Have a look at your life. Judges. That means our judicial system is up the creek as well. A pedophile won't put a pedophile behind bars. Isn't that frightening? All these people, high profile, allowed to freely roam our country, get into high positions, Samantha, like your husband, and tell us what to do? That our Australian government, that's Mr. Albanese, every senator, every public servant is accountable for what you do. Without the public service propping them up, they wouldn't be able to do the dirty work. But you take the coin and you live in ignorant bliss. America has millions more people than we do. They have 2.2 million in their administration for government. We have 2.5. No wonder. It's a big group of people they can draw onto their own side with their propaganda. You will all be held accountable one day. So our Australian government has made no attempt to undo this supposed suppression order for the supposed safety and well-being of the population. What a joke! They're all scared. And this is unacceptable. We need the truth, honesty, integrity from our government. We get lies, deceit, and our taxpayer dollars used as propaganda against us. I hope you're all proud. Revisited again in 2015, the Senate Legal and Constitutional Affairs Legislation Committee meeting, the then Senator Bill Heffernan delivered the same request for these findings to be released to the public, still in the filing cabinet. As the Senator stated, it's not so much the secret that's the problem, but it is when a group of people such as the foul 28 on this list, and you are foul, keep each other's dirty secrets. It's not good enough! Further in his appeal, he quoted the judge of the day. The judge of the day said we. This is after the meeting with Mr. Carr. Gee, I wonder if he's on the list. He wants it covered up enough. And they decided they couldn't revisit that issue because the public would lose confidence in the judiciary. They were right about that. But we're losing confidence in you all. You are liars, deceivers, with very low moral standards, which is not good enough for the Australian people. Governor-General, how can you justify the supposed 90-year suppression order of the police report from the Woodrow Commission, given the Australian people paid for it with their tax dollar, $64 million? That's a lot of money. It's a lot of people you put through trauma, and we get nothing. Again, it is not good enough. We have a right to full disclosure. We're sick of it. 28, could be 29. Painful years later, we have stood each week since August 30, 2021 at Government House in Queensland. And daily, that is every day, addressing the Governor-General in his or her house. Our house. And I demand that you come and speak to the people. You say that's what you want to do, Samantha? Well, come and And we've been here daily since the 7th of February, 2022. 3 fucking years! 3 years! We've been here, Samantha, every day, reading the same script, demanding that you do something for the Australian people. Read the Constitution. Get to know what your job is. Or would you like me to come and tell you what it is, Samantha? I could give you a few tips on how to have empathy, compassion for other humans, because you don't seem to have any. None for the Australian population. And you're the Governor General. We are either real victims, family members of victims, or friends of victims of an appalling industry we have in Australia of child sex trafficking and pedophilia. Why do we have this industry in Australia? Samantha, answer. We've had the Woodrow Commission. We've had the National Redress Scheme. nationalredress.gov.au. Re-traumatising the people that have been raped as children. And you get all this information off them about the perpetrators. And you do nothing. Get them off our streets, away from our children and our vulnerable. Do something decent with your life, Samantha. We also require the person who's taken on this empty figurehead of a job, because you're not doing it. Samantha, you have the position of Governor General. You need to uphold your requirement of the office. Otherwise, step aside. You too, Mr. Albanese. You're doing a job for the Australian people or yourself? And all your public servants. You know about it. You're not to inquire why. You're not to succeed. You're not to put a bonus in trying to win it. The people who are peacefully believing protesting when they can see straight through the lies, straight through the deceit, straight through the propaganda that comes off the television. We see through it. And you're trying to stop
Hey,
it.
Ara, hey, Nobby.
Peacefully
Yes,
protesting
survivors, of
hasn't
course,
worked so far.
Ara.
It's up to the great men and women of this great country to determine their level of confidence in the police. Let's start looking at your jobs, boys. Are you doing it for yourselves, your families, or you propping up some government entity? Judicial system. Well, we know that's corrupt. They teach us Oxford English at school, and they speak legalese. Another fraud on the people of Australia. And anyway, we'll take it. We know about it now. The media! What a joke! They play their roles well. But Samantha's playing a role too, so's that bloke in blue. Playing roles. How are you going to play it? You going to play it with decency? Moral standards? Obviously not. You're self-imposed on these matters. I'm a proud sixth-generation Australian woman. I will stand for my children's children, for all the children in Australia. I will stand for the vulnerable, the people with disabilities. I will stand for the elderly. I will stand for the country, the flora and fauna. What do you stand for, Samantha? You're sincerely concerned, great men and women of this great country of Australia. Let's keep it that way!
Anybody else wish to speak?
Job stuff.
Firstly, thank you to everyone that showed up today. 3 years, many, all of
Sorry.
us have played a part in holding this
Oh, I
line,
didn't even know they were there.
to expose the 28, not only the 28, but the corruption, the lies, the genocide, the list goes on. And we had the Governor General's front gate today for good reasons. The Governor General is supposed to have an overseas position on the parliamentary. But it seems that doesn't stand no more. It's the state's problem. The Governor General's on $700,000 a year. For what? For what? She's not overseeing nothing. She's not a Governor General. She's performed no duties in the army. As far as I believe,
Vaughn's so funny. He's over there filming all the workers that are making noise while we're doing this.
She's not doing her duties.
It's hilarious.
She's not looking after her country, and she's not
Every
looking
time.
after the people. Governor General, you lot broke the law. Genocide and treason, corruption and more. You poisoned our people. You have destroyed our great land for money and greed, power and lust. You have tried to destroy all of us. But we the people, can't you see? Governor General, can't you see? Instead you're protecting criminals, liars and thieves. Your duties are clear, or not as it seems. To protect this country, to be the one that oversees. Expose their crimes, have your say. Come on, Governor, earn your pay. So we stand here gathered on your doorstep to let you know we will never forget. We know the crimes your so-called government did. We know the lies you guys created to hide your crimes. But we the people, can't you see? We are fighting so we can be free. You lot turned on our country, you liars and thieves. Governor General, what are your duties? Explain that to me. Is it to protect all the people, the water, the trees? So we stand here before you. In 3 years, we addressed you, David. You see, we the people, it's not just me. We stand for good reasons. We stand proud and tall. It's our children, our country, so hear us roar. We know the truth. We see your lies. Never once have you addressed our cries. Our country is suffering from land to our skies. So Governor General, expose their lies.
Samantha, about 15 months ago, before you took up residence in our house, I stood in that little corner room with one of the GG's staffers, and she said something that I found hard to believe, so I asked her to repeat herself.
They naughty.
She said that the Governor General isn't allowed to not sign off on any pieces of legislation or other matters that come before them. So where does that put you as a protector of the people? Put you in the gutter with the rest of the liars and thieves. You disgust me. You have no morals. We know that you have the papers and that you could reveal the findings of the Wood Royal Commission. no, are you protecting the other person who sleeps in your bed? Because he was counsel assisting at the Wood Royal Commission. Don't try and silence me, because that will just make me speak louder. You are a disgrace to Australia. I love my country, but I'm ashamed of this government and all that it stands for, because they are not for the people of Australia. We, the people, are the Commonwealth. And you are merely a puppet whose strings are being pulled daily to do the dance of the people above you. So is the $709,000 plus all the lurks and perks worth it? Plus whatever Simeon's pay packet is? Are you protecting your own children and grandchildren if you have any? I don't think so. Down the track, they will pay for your lack of moral standards. Samantha, my name is Nana. And if you can't tell, I have lost confidence in the government, federal, state and the unlawful local. I demand that you release the names that are mentioned as alleged pedophiles in the Wood Royal Commission immediately. Can't get it out of your filing cabinet or out of Simeon's. So I know you've got more than one copy. Maybe that's gone digital now too. So the press of one button can delete the lot. How convenient is that? There's a few hard copies around, I'm sure. Furthermore, I want you to dissolve Parliament immediately. Don't wait for a visit from our wicked little friend with his stupid laugh and his stupid smile. And that stupid voice, his wimpy little voice.
Pigsy incoming.
Visit from Sleazy.
What you got, Pigsy?
Want you to
Oh, feather of the day.
send them packing
Sweet.
now. We want them out of our house.
You should go check out Dave's feathers as well.
I will.
We want a fresh election, not a selection by your puppet masters. And we will be here and anywhere else we can front up around the country every day until you do as instructed. So do your job, Samantha.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's very basic. This old system is old, it's crumbling, it's a system and a structure built on disempowerment. They disempower people through every institution that they have running. But I just want to say that I believe we can heal and overcome any harm that they have perpetrated against the people, and that has been horrific to see what they are doing on a daily basis. And so often we don't see it because it happens behind closed doors. It happens in meetings, appointments, classrooms, kindergartens, libraries, anywhere they can get their filthy, disgusting hands on the innocent, even the babies. I'm absolutely disgusted with this horrific system. But we are no longer consenting to your bullshit, to your evil. And moving forward, we are empowered, we are sovereign over our own lives. We create the solutions, and you don't hold any power over us.
Well said, Lulu. Dee's got your phone.
Motherfuckers.
Hi folks, I'm Anita,
Hi, Anita.
if you didn't know me. So, 3 years. 3 long years. So much has changed, and yet so little has changed. On a personal level, 3 years ago, was the hardest time of my life, the most painful time of my life. The pandemic destroyed families, and a lot of those families are still destroyed. It nearly took me down. But the thing is, when people seek the truth, demand honour, they rise up. You can't take us down. The harder you try, the harder we bounce back. We have, all of us, a lot of work to do on ourselves. We often are still triggered by what goes on around us. We need to work on that, because the rest of the population will be relying on us when the truth comes out. And the truth always comes out, Samantha. So if you know you have something that keeps coming back when you face difficulties in your life, that tells you you need to work on it. You need to look within. When you're in that painful place, look within. Work out where it came from. You need to heal it. You need to look into it. Don't just keep brushing it over. We need you to be strong. You need to be strong. You need to be able to stand steady when everybody else around you is going nuts. Do that for yourself. Do it for everybody. Every time you feel down, there's work for you to do. Look back to your childhood. Often it's your childhood where you've been brought down. You didn't get the love that you needed. You didn't get the safety that you needed at that particular time.
Who's your daddy?
So look, you can't change the past, but you can give yourself
Pixie left me a
that love that you didn't get then. Sit with it. We need you strong. You can all do it. Yeah. Suppose the 28, Samantha.
The common theme I've seen the most of that was that stand strong, work on what you know triggers yourself. I know there's plenty of things that trigger me that I need to work on, and just be there for everybody else. That was the common theme, just about every one of those, is be there for everybody else. And yourself as well, be there for yourself. It's really important to be there for yourself. It's, coming tomorrow, Saturday on the lawn used to be a thing. And me personally, it's going to be a thing for me tomorrow. Saturday on the lawn. I think old school barbecue on the lawn. I don't know if it'll be as extreme as the time we cooked over $150 worth of sausages in the back of the truck in the middle of the lawn.
With all the cars parked on it.
The truck parked right in the middle of the lawn, but it probably won't be that extreme because they get a bit worked up over that nowadays. That's just another example of them having to react to us.
Depends on the numbers.
Yeah, it depends on the numbers. It truly does. They were terrified back in those days, and they're still terrified. They're doing things behind the scenes to shut us down and shut us up.
I don't want everyone to come back.
They don't want everyone to come back. Why do you think the price of living has gone so hard? It's because when you've got your nose to the grind, you're not going to step up. You're not going to even have time to think about it. And I've heard plenty of people in
We
our
love you guys
situation who
too.
believe like us.
Big
go,
love, Ira.
I just haven't got the time or the money to do anything right now. Trouble is, you haven't got the time not to do anything. That's the problem. But yeah, I'll be having an old school day on the lawn, I think, tomorrow. You're all invited, obviously, because it's not my lawn, your lawn. It's our lawn. It's our lawn, not theirs. And we won't have any permits, but we don't need a permit to be on our lawn. We don't need a permit to voice our concerns. We've proven that so many times. We've ran rings around it so many times. I remember a time when one of the PSOs came down and said, "Oh, can you turn your mic, your speaker around?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Oh," I said, "Mate, you can't make me. I'm behind your imaginary line." He goes, "Yeah, but I'm asking nicely." I said, "You can ask all you want, mate. It's not happening." Because he was a young whippersnapper, and one of his mates was behind him, who was been there a bit longer, and he knew who I was, and he knew I'd been here for a while. And the day that 17 people attacked, 17 of the PSOs and policemen went straight past all the people on the lawn, attacked this lady over here, and a friend that was sitting down in the car talking. We went straight up and voiced our concern to the guy who was supposedly running the day. And he's like, "Who are you?" And I turned around and said, "G'day, Jeff," to that PSO. "G'day, Adam," to that PSO. And he goes, "Hey, Phil. Hey, Phil." And then I turned around and went, "Why don't you really little lackey in, mate? Because I know you're actually running the show. This guy here is a face." And what they do, they went straight past all the young people to the older ladies. Why'd they do that? They wanted to create a reaction from us young people that they could actually act on. But we're way smarter than them. We knew what they were doing. We know how they act. And we had the live stream going. And one of the officers goes, "What are you doing here, Phil?" And I said, "Keeping you honest as well as us honest," and showed him the live stream. Because we knew that they constantly acted without honour, without integrity, lied, cheated. Anyway, Saturday on the lawn, all invited to join us for some snags. All day. I think there's something else organised which I'm not going to talk about earlier in the morning maybe. You can, if you want to go to that, that's great, go to it. Do what you need to do. But I'll be on the lawn at some area after GG's, obviously. I'll be up on the lawn having another Saturday on the lawn. It's a great place for a communal meeting. And this will be there. Feel free to come up with something tonight to talk about and have a chat. It's amazing how many people wander around Parliament building who stop and listen. And that might be your opportunity to bring someone to the light, bring someone to the understanding that what actually goes on in this country is not governance, it's control. Corruption, control, and forced debt slavery. You think about it. A young person is born, a young spirit is born. Do they have a choice but to be in the system? Can they not be in the system? If they try to not be in the system, what's going to happen? They can't do anything. They can't move. They can't travel. None of that stuff. And people that pull themselves out of the system have nothing but trouble. It's forced debt slavery. It's not optional debt slavery. It's forced debt slavery. To be honest, it's actually optional debt slavery. You just got to be willing to take the step. But it is them controlling a population for their own wealth. You don't really believe that they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on wine and dinners every year. You don't really believe that Samantha needs $700,000 to live in a house where she gets food, gets the lawn done, gets the house for free, gets to travel for free, all that stuff. What does she need $700,000 for? Because you got to consume all the money somehow. We constantly borrow billions from other countries on paper and then give billions away to other countries. Why? Forced debt slavery.
Do you stop?
All our resources sent overseas for free. Well, not all of it for free, but not enough to be worth worrying about. The countries that do actually charge for what their resources are wealthy beyond imagination, and their citizens get a payment from the government every year, not tax. This country has more than enough to survive on its own. That's why it is suppressed so hard. If they put some sort of, stop on anything brought into this country, some sort of weight all over the country, we could just stick our finger up at them and go, thanks, we got petrol, we got gas, we got steel, we got aluminium, we got iron ore, we got all that shit. We don't need you, piss off, you need us. That's why they suppress us so hard in Australia. There's not many countries where literally every resource and things required, growing areas, we've got great areas for growing, we've got great areas, we've got mineral wealth, coal, you name it, gas. We've got everything we need to survive without the rest of the world. In fact, we've got everything we need to prosper if the rest of the world shut themselves off from us. That is why they suppress this country so hard. Thank you.
Samantha Mostyn. My name is Lily, and I've lost confidence in the government, federal, state, and unlawful local. We the people, we demand honour. We do not ask, we demand. We the people demand transparency. We do not ask, we demand. We the people demand justice. We do not ask, we demand. For the victims to have closure and to let the healing begin. And are you not supposed to protect Australian people from a tyrannical government? All you do is line your own pockets. You are indifferent to the pressing issue of child sex trafficking, pedophilia, and grooming in schools. You hold no honour and no integrity. We the people demand that you expose the 28 names on the police report immediately. Thank you.
Governor General, I won't name your name,
because with a name comes a soul and a body. And from a lot of experience, we know there's something missing there. But with a title like Governor General comes authority, responsibility, accountability. And I count on this one. We're here since 7th of Feb 2022, 3 years addressing the Governor General, the office, the representative of the King, a third of the Parliament, the executive order in Parliament. Yes, we had bigger numbers. Then the question is, why do we have not so many numbers anymore? Did I believe it's solved? I don't think so. The crime's still going on, still not exposed. Or did I have lost confidence, trust in the Governor General? Stop giving them authority, because everyone here still believes you have some authority to have a change. Imagine if no one stands here anymore, a government with no support. It's not a government anymore, it's just an institution. But it's your part to bring this trust back and show authority. In the past, the Governor General, previous, long before you, made suppression orders. I presume it was regards to similar incidences regarding to pedophilia. But it shows us, if someone in this position can make a suppression order, he has the power to cancel them. So that's one of your obligations. To cancel the suppression orders and give a chance for the victims that the perpetrator get that time in court and a conviction or freedom. Another thing is, you have to sign up the papers of legislation, but it's also your duty to keep the Constitution up high. People say you have to sign anything, but you also have the right to send it back for a review and make suggestions and pointing out how certain legislation interfering with the Constitution. A main fundamental message from the Constitution is to separate the jurisdiction and the politics. As we heard, there came in a legislation with a minimum charge, compulsory charge of 6 years. This is clearly interfering with the jurisdiction power. Imagine a case, minimal, but a judge can want, for humanity reasons, put him in jail for 6 years. It says in one time, a sample that he can get away with a minimal charge. It is interfering with our jurisdiction. And justice will be not done. And it's your duty to interfere this, reject it, or deny it, or dispose it. You can make references that is suggested or recommended a minimum charge of 6 years. But I can't make law. They can make law, but I can't make the verdict. We're still innocent until proven wrong. So, Governor General, it's your time to prove the public that we still have a constitution, and we still have democracy, rule of law, and that you stand for the people and humanity. Expose the 28 and do your job and uphold the Constitution.
Go get him.
Governor, your silence tells us that you're not only complicit, you must agree with the abuse that's happening in our country. not to mention everything else. I'm here to tell you that since we stood here last year, I can name again over 10 people in the police force that have been charged with serious, disgusting child sexual abuse cases. One, Mr. Alan Hawley, 20,000 child abuse files on 6 devices. One of those hidden devices was hidden in his police locker. They proved on those devices that he sent a message stating we should open a pedo childcare centre. This is what you employ to protect our country. And the reason I mention police and teachers and people that are in charge of youth institutions is because you put them in those positions. Your strict protocols do not work because then you protect them. Then we have another South Australia police officer, Simon Gorszewski. Sorry if I didn't get your name right. Sexual intercourse with his stepdaughter, who bravely agreed and fought. She had to fight for him to be named because you protect the victims, yeah? No, you protect the perpetrators. That poor young girl had to be abused by her stepfather, a police officer, a trusted member of Australian society, yeah? And then she had to fight to have him named. And she said it didn't matter to her if her identity came out. She actually came out and spoke bravely and urged others to come forward because she is well aware that she was not the only one. He has been charged and he went to jail in September. He will be paroled in March 2027. No. It is. I've seen people get more time for theft.
Driving a truck, 30 years.
That's exactly right. For speaking up against your freedoms, you face up to 10 years, but your own police force can do this to their stepchildren, and they get 2 years. That's if it doesn't get covered up by you guys first. Do your job.
Oh, so did my sister.
How many more fucking people need to fucking have it happen to?
So, yeah, it was pretty much 3 years, over 3 years ago today that I got here.
Good.
Reasons for
Want to drink
coming
water?
here.
Yeah.
The Department of Population Control, that was a concern. Actually, a very close person to me 3 years before I got here, not allegedly, he told me that he was sexually abused by Bob Hawke. And when I came to Canberra,
Matt,
uh,
mic them out.
thank you, Christine. Getting to Canberra, I thought I was one of the few people that knew about the crimes of previous Prime Minister Bob Hawke, and got here and people were talking about the 28th, and I was like, okay, what's the 28th? I'll listen in. And they described what my mate said that happened to him as a child. So allegedly, well, it's not alleged. That's what he told me. He told me that Bob Hawke was the Prime Minister of the 28, so that's not alleged. That's his story. I don't know why people are afraid to tell what people have told them. It shouldn't be scary. That's what happened. Also, so I think the whole 3 years has been trying to prove that this is just a corporation. The Prime Minister's acting CEO, basically. If we're like, no one's trying to overtake the company, just fuck off. Like, we don't want your company here anymore. Woo! Go away. And we're well aware of who these people are. Thankfully, Bob Hawke is dead. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Well said, Matt. Rest in pieces, mate. Sing our little song.
Just quickly, I wanted to thank everybody for all that they do wherever they are, in holding the light, in holding the truth, in standing for justice. That's what brings us all together. The family that we have here is full of the most amazing people, the most honourable people. Samantha, this is what honourable people look like. They stand for the truth. They won't be put down from it. They won't be diverted. This family is just amazing. From the deepest, darkest places 3 years ago that I was in, I have come to know the most absolutely incredible people, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Thank you all for being here, and a big shout out to all our family online. Thank you for being there consistently, supporting us, giving us something to chat about. Yeah, we look forward to your continued support. And thank you. Make sure that wherever you are, everybody, you stand for the truth. You stand in honour. You stand in your light. And you share your love. Because love is what brings this whole thing around. They try to divide us, to make us hate each other. The only antidote to that is love. So make sure that's where you come from. Thank you.
You've been pretty quiet today, Steve.
Good morning, Samantha. I'm here to film this event. It's a historic event. 3 years these people have come here from all over Australia, as well as their supporters. They've travelled a long way. It's cost them lots of money. And all they asked for was your time and attention. Was that really so hard to give to them? All they've asked for was to be heard. A group of peaceful Australian protesters. They're not even protesters. They're truth tellers. They're telling the truth of their personal stories, of the stories in their communities, the truth of their families. But more than anything, they're telling the truth about just how bad and corrupt the system is that you represent. The system is that you protect. As the highest authority of law and order in this country, I feel quite ashamed for you, really. I feel ashamed that these honourable people with these deep-seated harms and truths of their lives have come all the way to the parliamentary circle and to your front door to say, hear us, hear our pleas. Help us fix ourselves, each other and the system. Let's have a better life for all Australians. When we look after each other, we consciously also look after the land, the fauna and the flora. But we've got to be well to do that. And this is the message they bring you. How have you ignored them for 3 years? How? At your door. And the Director General before you. Oh, sorry, the Governor General before you. Did that war criminal hand over any of the information or pass on any of the information of the ongoing rallies, the ongoing connectedness of the community here, of them enlightening and teaching the rest of Australia, of the ongoing harassment they get every time they come to Canberra? Why have you not eased their path? Why have you not eased the path for all whistleblowers? This is just a small segment of truth tellers in this country. It's a small segment of representatives, but as we know, more than 50% of our population in this country grows up with these harms. How do we become a well and healthy and strong country when all we have is a brokenness of spirit, when our spirits of innocence have been stolen from us as children? I appeal to you. Come and pay your respects to this community. Come and hear their pleas. And when you do, it'll help you do your job better. And I look forward to you doing your job better. Thank you, community, for being here and for caring.
Thank you.
Just before I go, Samantha,
Beautiful.
you're so inept at your job.
He's a good
Our country's gone to shit.
He's a good boy.
And I think you really need to step down or step up. But you've been told this thousands of times. But I'll just tell you, you can't even catch your own predators in your own backyard. 25 people across Australia were charged with 1,350 offences as a result of Operation Archstone, which the US had to get involved in. It caught a convicted, a childcare worker aged 30 and his 25-year-old mate. They were found guilty of 354 child abuse offences with 30 victims. 30! One had 106 offences on his own and the other had 248 offences. This was following a tip from the US National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children. And then that led to another 25 people being arrested with 1,350 charges. And that led to the comment of, this is some of the worst offending we have ever seen. And that is in May 2024. So tell me, what are you doing? How are you changing it? 2024, some of the worst offending we have ever seen. And that was Kate Ferry that said that. One of your own. Look it up.
When they say some of the worst offending ever, it's probably more likely the most reported because people are waking up and reporting this stuff. The offending's always been there and always gone on and they've kept hiding it. But people aren't letting them hide it anymore. Once upon a time when you went to somebody and said such and such did such and such, they'd go, oh no, such and such wouldn't do that. And you were the one that was belittled or held down. Nowadays there's enough of us out there that will go, rightio, I believe you. I'll stand beside you and I'll stand with you. The fact that it's the most offending is probably more like the most reporting. It's always been there in the background. These guys have always hidden it and worked hard to hide it. We're not letting them hide it anymore.
like to apologise for digging the hole on Parliament Lawn. Play the song.
Sorry, Pat. Sorry, Pat.
I wasn't going for a rant.
Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Never got a job, never wore a mask. 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raided the camps, done all the camps. Who keeps at Canberra, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They broken the road, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up with a man on bail, and I'm still here. They try so hard. We try not laugh. They tow my car, the next day's back in the same car park. These cops ain't smart, I'ma make a drop this charge. Son, you watch, we take it back to the start. No D's, no titles, no trespass. Now we charge you, tables are turned. We come with a proof for all the assault, all the abuse. Nobody gonna cut in the loose, knock knock. Yeah, who at the door? Makada, bring on the storm. Library to empty, thought we were gone, regroup and come back to the front lawn. Yeah, we're still here, still ain't got no fear. We won't cry, still ain't shed no tear. The sense of we still here. Is that all you got? We take on you mob, we unite. You don't call the shot, Sovereign's been here all along. And they're still here, yeah, they're still here. Return of the Sovereign, but they never left. They're still here. Can I help you? Yeah, they're still here. Yeah, they're still here. The oldest civilization. It's been how many years? They're still here. Need your support. God, you ladies, war is war. Hello, warrior for the law. Rent in June, income for records. Gotta cut it, not safe anymore. Yeah, that's what the plans are. Walk with the elders. They got the law, we got the numbers. That is the answer. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Never got a job. Never wore a mask. 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raided the camps. Done all the camps. 2 at Canberra, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They broken the road, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed the car and the
I love you.
Still here. They see us come.
They see us laugh.
Now we are one, free our daughters, free our sons. Get scared and scared. Front line at the bed, I'm there. If we were gone, our spirit lives on. Yeah, we ain't going anywhere. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Never got a jab, never wore a mask. 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raid at the camps, found all the camps. Who kicks at the camp, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They've broken the road, broken the law, but can't break spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed the car and knocked me up with a man on bail, and I'm still here.
Come on, sit.
Pedophile protected!
Send one out for a chat, guys. Come out for a chat.
Look at you scary people over there. They had to lock the gate to protect the Governor-General from you ferals. Look at you.
It'd take more than a gate if we chose to come through, guys.
You know what's really interesting is how much money and investment they put into protecting one person. All the politicians, all the security that they need, and yet who's protecting the children? Who can protect the children as well as the Governor-General's protected? You're a bunch of cowards.
Just remember, the mark of a real man is a man who protects the weakest,
Not the other way around.
not the other way around.
Good morning, Samantha. I hope you've heard the words that these people have said. If you knew these people, you would be absolutely astonished at the people are being blackmailed. I know a lot of underhand things that are going on. Bribery, mostly blackmail, because those innocent babies have been caught on camera with some revolting, evil pig. Samantha, you have to stop this. You have the power to stop this. We don't want a country who give our children to men and women who are evil. We want a country for the kids to grow up in joy and peace and love, mostly love. So stop making your horrible laws, stop locking us up, and start protecting the babies. We love Australia, we love this. I love this country. It's the most bloody amazing country with the most wonderful people. And you sit on the top of us like great spiders, bleeding us and torturing us. Samantha, you have to stop this. You can do it. I know you can. So stop it now.
Hello everybody. I don't have a lot to say today to the pedos and the swine that protects them. Most people have already, you guys have done a pretty good job of that today. But I'd just like to say thanks to everyone standing here on this side of the gate. Like, I'm not going to start naming anyone because I'll miss something, I'll just stuff it up. But thanks heaps for all yous have done in all your own ways. I can't do what yous do, yous probably, yeah. We're all different, we're all on the same front in our own way. I appreciate yous all. I come here for a week 3 years ago. Didn't know any of yous. And then I guess I was lucky enough that I got lit up with electronic weapons and it pissed me off enough so I stayed and met all these great people here. The job's not over, so we'll push on. See you tomorrow afternoon, if not beforehand, for a barbecue on the lawn. The swine on the gate are more than welcome to come and get a sausage too. Ask us some questions if you like. You probably have a few after the revelations this week. Or maybe you don't. I guess you're not paid to think.
Come
Have a good day, everybody.
Alright guys, thanks for joining. I'm going to leave this live here and talk to you soon. Bye.